I came up with a great little tutorial here to get you to play with all kinds of different tools and different concepts in Illustrator. We're going to take an apple, which I will supply you the photograph, and we're going to do all kinds of apples with different drawing techniques and different tools. We're going to create a 2D apple, we're going to create a geometric apple, a gradient apple, an apple with different strokes. We're going to do an apple with patterns. We are going to do an apple with a gradient mesh. We're going to do an apple made from typography. We're going to do an apple that is going to be made up of image trace. So we're going to take it and like so, and play around with the different techniques and things that are going on. So we're going to just have a lot of fun with this and give it a try. I thought this would be great. We'll have a lot of fun. We're going to try this out. So I'm going to do File and New. And we're going to do an 8.5 by 11 and just create. So I'm going to do a file place. And in the Apple project, we're going to grab the apple that I supplied, and we're going to bring that out, and we're just going to drop it on the page. So when we drop it on the page, it is a raster image. It's a photograph, but it's huge, so we're going to make it a little smaller, and we're going to bring it down here like this. And what I want to do is I want to draw or trace this apple. We just did the self-portrait project, so we know how to use the pen tool very, very well. I'm going to come over here to the layers panel, and I am going to add a new layer right here. And we're just going to call that outline. Because what I want to do is I'm going to lock that background layer so when we're drawing, we don't do anything to it. Just like when we did our self-portrait piece. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the pen tool. Everybody's favorite tool, right? Maybe by now it is. I want to create two shapes. I want to create a shape of the apple on the outside. I want to create a back shape here. We're going to create a stem and a leaf. And then we'll be finished. So I'm going to create this shape first. I'm just going to click and drag until we create. Oh, and see, now look at, as you can see, it's filling with white, so I want that to fill with none. Click and drag. Sorry, I hate to do that. Click and drag, click and drag. Click and drag. Using the pen tool, doing a little pen tool stuff is never bad, because doing the pen tool, and you know what, I'm going to undo that. We're going to come over here, we're going to whoosh like that, a little bit lower. Now I'm going to come up a little higher. A little higher here. So, if you want, you can see that I'll make that black so you can see it. So nice, good outline. Now we want to create the shape that's going to go over here. Here's a little tip for you. I'm in the pen tool. I have a shape that's already there. Instead of going over here and hitting, we could do this. We could go click on the move tool and then click off so it's totally clicked off. Or I can have it selected, have the pen tool, and if I do a Command Shift A or a Control Shift A, it takes me out of that tool and keeps me right here. So now I'm going to come in here, grab a curve, and create a new shape. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do this quite perfectly, that's okay, because we are using the pen tool. The pen tool can be manipulated, modified. As you can see, I've got a problem here. So I'm just going to come in here, grab the direct selection tool, because what I want to do, it's not a huge deal, but let's take a look at this and say, okay, I want to fix that piece right there and bring this up a little bit like that. I've got a problem right here, so I'm going to grab that like so, bring that up, and we got a little more here we could fix. Grab that handle. Just mess with it a little bit until you get it where you like it. Gotta make sure you grab those handles just right. There. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So, as you know, as we build stuff, the first thing we build is on the bottom of the layer. The next thing is on the above that, and the next thing we build is above that and above that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select this piece because that's the second piece we did. I am going to do Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So now that's behind the apple, the big apple piece that we did, just in case when we draw these things. Now I'm going to grab my pen tool again, and I want to draw the leaf. So click, drag that up, click and drag, click and drag. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this does not have to be perfect. Just create the leaf. And you are the artist on this, okay? If you want to make a different shaped leaf or you want to do a different shaped apple, as you can see here, I didn't do the exact thing because I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just nice shape like that. I've got that shape. Now all I have to do is create this thing. The stem, I'm going to make actually two shapes. I'm going to make a shape for the stem and the little piece here. So that'd be one big piece. And then this top piece, I want that to be separate also. So I'm going to come in here and go click, click. And I want to come right to the bottom of this. Come around. And we have that one. Now, notice I'm in the pen tool. If I want, Shift, Command, or Control A takes me right out of it. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go click and around and around like so. So I'll zoom out. And now I have the outline version. I'm just going to move that straight across. Hold the Shift key down, and it will move it directly across. And if I look at my layers panel, that's all on the outline. So I now have the outline, and I'm ready to go. So if you have brought in the apple, you've used the pen tool, we're all set. We can go ahead. So let's see. We want to come here, and the first thing we want to do is the 2D. So I'm going to actually move this around here. I'm going to unlock that layer, grab that, move this down a little bit, like so. I'm going to lock that layer again, just so it doesn't move around. I'm going to come over here, draw all the way around there. Now I have my outline. Put it over here, and we're all set and ready to go to make our 2D art. Let's do this. Let's make a copy of this. So I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to go copy, paste, and I'm just going to put that off on my clipboard so we have it for later just in case. So in here, I'm going to go ahead, and what's great about this is I'm just going to make a 2D solid colored apple. And once I have it selected, notice over here in our toolbar, we have the stroke up front and the fill in the back. So if we click on the fill, it brings the fill in the front. So now, when I pick a color for this apple, it will fill it with that red. So I'm going to hit I on the keyboard. I on the keyboard will take us to the eyedropper. And I'm going to come over here to the apple down below, the image that we brought in, because it's a raster image. It still has pixels and color. And I'm just going to pick a nice, maybe a little bit lighter. There we go, nice red right there from the apple. We can just keep clicking around until we get the color we want, and it will fill the apple with that color. So then we're going to come up and we're going to select the back little piece there. I'm going to hit I on the keyboard again, which will give us the eyedropper. And I'm going to come down here and grab this like nice pink area. If you don't want to come all the way back over, we can just hit V on the keyboard, and that will take us right to our move tool. I'm going to select that green part, the leaf right there, and I'm going to hit I on the keyboard again, come down here and click on the green in the leaf. If you don't like that, you can grab a lighter color. I'm going to grab a little bit darker. There we go. I'm going to go V on the keyboard again. I am going to select that top piece. I'm going to hit I for the eyedropper and click right in there. V on the keyboard once more, and I'm going to select that. I for the eyedropper. Boom. We now have our 2D solid color simple apple. Doesn't get much simpler than that. That you're going, wow, that's kind of boring, but we learned a couple little things in there, how we can switch hotkeys, how we can use the eyedropper a little more, and that we can never ever worry about doing the pen tool again, because pen tool is awesome. Great stuff. You should always be using the pen tool. I'm just going to come in here, grab the text tool by hitting T on the keyboard, or coming over and hit the T, and we're going to put right in here 2D art, like that. I'm going to make that a little bigger. Oop, hold the shift key down, it'll size it proportionately. Put it right there. Look at our layers panel. And we're going to actually, just to be everything on its own thing, I'm going to come over here, draw a box around these things right here. I'm going to cut, because they were on the outline layer. I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer. We're going to call that 2D. And instead of just pasting it, because if I paste it, it's just going to pop it right in the middle. And then I have to move it again. So I'm going to go edit, and I'm going to put paste in place, because it remembers where I cut it from. So boom, it's going to paste it right there. It is now all set on top of the correct layer. Awesome.